But the 49ers, on the other hand, look good. They're physical, they're tough, they're taking on the personality of their coach. As Morrow said in his press conference today, they're getting nasty and mean out there from what I watched after it. I mean, they are not playing.
Do you think Singletary's killed a man?
It was a dark night, it was an alley, and nobody was around, and he knew because he's got spidey sense within the ears to hear these things, but yes, he did. It was only one-handed, though, and he barely choked the man, to his credit.
I heard he used his 2 fingers.
Really? It was down a bit, wow.
And he didn't use his opposable thumb either, it was just 2 fingers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now, I did hear about that, but I thought the pinky was involved. So,
really?
I heard it was pinky, not even the big middle.
I believe it. I believe it.
He's that good.
He's that good.
Went right for the trachea. Just, you know.
But last year, yeah, I mean, he's an intense guy. Interim coach.
Drops his pants at halftime.
I mean, this guy is crazy. And, but, I mean, he's kind of doing
crazy like a fox, maybe.
Yeah,
you know?
right. I mean, they were physical. They came out there and they came in the Cardinals, and, I mean, dude, they were proud about that, you know, conference champion. They put the flag down, and they weren't able to get anything really done. You know,
it's an impressive win by the 49ers, and nobody should overlook them. I mean, the quarterback situation is going to hold them back, and it did in this game too. It didn't really. I mean, the guy converted some third downs at the end to win the game, and he did his part to make that win happen for them. But Gore only ran for 30 yards in this game, and that team wants to run the football.
Wow.
And if they're not able to run that football with Gore back there like that, and Gore healthy, and they're not able, that team's another team that, no matter how good that defense plays, and they've got a legit defense. They may have the best defense in our division next to us, and maybe even better than us to a degree in certain that. You know, Clemens, and they've got some really good places. They're not as good as us, but they're very good. They're going to be probably a top 15 defense this year, and so. You know, it's going to be interesting to see how we come out. We're playing on the road. You know, Matt, are you able to come in and be the veteran to settle down this team at certain spots and hold things through? And then how's our running game? Our running game was very good. You look at some of these other teams that passed really well across the NFL in the first week, but they didn't run the ball so well.
That's one thing we missed. Actually, real quick before we wrap this up, how did you feel about Julius Jones? How did you feel about getting Edwin James in here? And, you know, what do you think?
I love our running game right now. To me, it's everything that you as a football team, you build what you can through the draft. You try to get the best players you can, and sometimes you got to fill in. And Julius is right now a fill-in position. He's going to be a guy who, if he has a great year, he's going to want a new contract, and we probably trade him and get some sort of third-round, fourth-round return. He's not a guy who's going to be here for years and years. And not to mention, he's not going to have a lot of mileage in the tank left to give another big contract to, especially after Ruskell saw what happens when you give a second contract or a third contract to Sean Alexander. We're going to get a running back in the draft who's going to be the guy for us in the future. Maybe in next year's Denver is a potential one. But the guy for this year and what he can be for this year, that's what matters. And in that context, he can be a 1,300-yard back. He can be that kind of back. You saw last year, that 60-yard run that we saw, didn't we see that last year against the Dolphins? Didn't we see that last year against the Rams? Didn't we see that last year against the Green Bay? He's got that in him to do these type of things where he will bang and get 4 and 5 and 6 yarders. And I was with Eric here, and he's commenting to me in the game, I don't know about this guy. I don't know about this guy. This is the game we're on. Those runs went longer and longer and longer, and soon enough he had cracked through by that end of the game with that 60-yarder. The Rams aren't a great defense, but this guy is going to be good enough for us this year. Edgerrin, same thing. He's not going to be the number one back. He's going to be a guy to come in and get you 3 or 4 yards or short yardage, which is not what Julius is. And that's what this team needs. He's better than Duckett. He was an upgrade over Duckett. That's what matters.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to be good. Then you got Forsett, who had 3 carries for 17 yards, doing his third down thing. Again, they're Forsett, great third down back. He could be, you know, poor man's Darren Sproles as a third down back. And sure enough, he's out there catching passes and getting key runs on third down. He had a third down conversion on a run play in the third quarter where the defense knew it was coming, and he still converted it. The guy's a good little back, and he can give us some carries. So we'll be good there. This is a good team. This is a good team. We are definitely a playoff team in my mind at this point, and we have the potential to be a dominant team if we can get healthy.
I think that we're 11-5, like I said earlier, and I think that, you know, this game shows it. I mean, 28-0 isn't, you know, I mean, it's beautiful. You know, and you see the scores. Nobody goose-egged except, you know, the Rams, and they played against us, our home team. They wanted to do good too. They're healthy, you know, and we just dominated them, and we made huge mistakes too. So, you know, yeah, we're there, and it's an exciting team. It's probably one of the most exciting teams I've seen, and I, you know, definitely think I'm a little prejudiced, but, I mean, one of the teams that's just, you know, really exciting. First game of the year, one of the most exciting games to see, you know.
Certainly.
All plays going on, things, you know, new stuff is happening, and they're excited, and they're doing a lot of stuff, and they still didn't let them score. Defense looks good finally, physical, and then you've got this offense that could be one of the best in the the NFL. I mean, it's way too early to say, but I mean, you've got a lot of options.
Oh, and you played the game without Walter Jones, Marcus Trufant, and the majority of the game, Leroy Hill. I mean, what happens when those three guys come back and you've got all of it rolling? I mean, maybe we'll lose somebody else, but...
Speaking of Leroy Hill, we should probably wrap this up, but at the same time, go over the injury situation real quick, and then if there's any other stats you wanted to...
Well, Walter is practicing this week, and Morris said in his conference, it looks like this is basically on Walter. When Walter decides he's healthy enough to go, he'll be healthy enough to go. We saw with Deion Branch last year in the same kind of surgery. You need to sometimes know you're feeling good in your own heart and you're ready to do it. And Walter seems to be right there. He's on the edge. He said as much. I'm good to go. Leroy, the news is bad. He's out the next 6 weeks. We're not getting him back until after the bye, unfortunately. This is bad. It's not decimating. It's going to be interesting again to see how this team reacts to picking up players as they play, if they still continue to play at a good level. But Herring is a good linebacker. He's been here a few years. He's been a good special teams guy. He's not the run stopper that Leroy is. He's going to miss some tackles that Leroy Hill would usually get. He's not as physical a player.
Well, you said 6 weeks?
6 weeks.
Is that 6 games? Do we have a bye?
No, we have a bye, so I believe it's 5 games total that he'll miss.
Okay, what teams do you think are going to affect us there?
I don't think it's going to be as bad. I mean, even this week it could affect us because Gore's going to be running a lot, and the responsibility of that linebacker spot in the run is going to be huge. He could also be, though, he's a great cover linebacker. That's the one part he does bring, is that he's a better cover linebacker than Leroy. He's a converted safety, actually. So in the open field, he knows what he's doing, and he's got that potential to pick it because he is so good as a linebacker in coverage. He's improving in the run game, but again, you're going to see some missed tackles. It's going to be a little bit.
Gonna have some practice now.
Yeah, he's going to have to. It's going to be trial by fire. We played a lot last year. He had a lot of time in the preseason. The guy's up to speed, and he's good to go. Trufant, that seems to be the most innocuous one. They're very cloak and dagger, and I've had a back injury. I know how these things go. They're hard. Matt had it last year. It's hard to know when everybody's healthy or not, but by all counts, he's still in play. They haven't put him on IR for this season, which is always encouraging at this point. They're still, there seems to be something that he will come back. So for the most part, the Hawks are healthy. Chris Spencer's the last guy to center. Vios played so good at center, he may not have a spot when he gets back because Spencer has been that injured and he's not played that great when he has been in there. And Vios, well, he's not a physical madman like Chris Spencer is. He's the guy who gets the most out of his tools. But he played really good. I was watching the game. I was very impressed with the center play out of Vios. He had the most pancake blocks. I mean, he also probably got beat the most. But when he beat his man, he put him on their back. And Spencer's a great guy. He got that talent. He's got all the talent in the world. And this is his free agent year, and he needs to have a big year. I like having that guy in there who's hungry. But I think the coaching staff's going to lean Vios. So good team. Injury situation not bad. We don't have to be too concerned, but be encouraged and start getting excited. If we whip the Niners, it's really hard not to say that this division isn't ours almost after 2 weeks. And I'm not one to jump to conclusions, but the Rams are that bad, and the Cardinals don't look that hungry. And it really means that the Niners are all that stands in our path at that point.
Well, I would say that the 49ers, and then when we do play the Cardinals, if we can whoop their ass too, then you're right. I want to, Cardinals have a 3-game get it done or not kind of thing, I think, with the division, because we're not messing around this year.
No.
I mean, it would really take a decimating injury year to take us out of contention. So.
Right. Well, we have to go 7-8 not to have 9 wins at this point. 9 wins won the division for the Cardinals last year, and if you don't think we're going to get those wins at this point, I mean, look at that Chicago game. That game looked hard at the start of the year for us. Brian Urlacher's out for the season. We're going into that game without Brian Allen. They got Hunter Hillenmeyer is going to be their starting middle linebacker. So, schedule's starting to look okay, folks, and we're going to be getting back some of these injured guys. Again, you moved to this team.
I thought he just got back.
He got hurt in the first game. Went down. He's down, and he's gone. I think Eric's eyes just lit up for all you can't see this on the other side. So
crazy.
We've gone pretty far here in this cast. Thank you again for listening. Sorry about the length, but thanks if you have made it through all the way on this. And
we'll be back Sunday night or Monday night for sure, every week, talking about what happens. And keep listening. Thanks.
Have a good night, guys. Thanks for listening.